How much can we get done in today's episode of Derminport in just this tile? Let's purchase it and find out $8,000 down the drain, and let's see what we are working with. We now have so much more room around this airport to get some things done, and between episodes the airport leveled up. We are now level 3 out of 3 for BMF Airport, and in order to put down an airline, all we need to do is put down the airline headquarters building. I want to get it put down in this area here because I am hoping to try and make this area some sort of touristy vibe. This will give us a lot of excuses to put down these unique buildings that we need to get down in order to make the monuments. And it will give us a good place to dump a lot of commercial buildings, although we don't want to just do an entire area of commercial, right? That's never any good. The first thing I need to do is figure out how to get off of this highway. You can see I've shortened some of the on and off ramps where this big whooshy interchange reached this highway, and I added the loop there to make the grade work out because this is a pretty tall highway, right? And then over here I did this, I'm gonna call it an interchange. I did this little interchange. Someone's gonna tell me why it won't work, but I feel like it works just fine. I mean, they still have enough nodes to do what they need to do afterwards. I'm sure there's lots of reasons why this wouldn't work in the real world, but in City Skylines it seems to be doing just fine. You can see the cars can only go in the certain places, right? And they just hop off onto this smaller road. And then we will connect this to the metro eventually, and this will come into our little area here. Now, I would really love another connection onto the highway right over here. And we also need to consider our next tile purchase because I want to get to this island and get all of our high density stuff starting over here. But if we want to take this connection where it currently is, we have to be able to buy 2 more tiles, which quite frankly is unreasonable. So we're going to do something drastic. We are going to grab all of these nodes because we have Move It mod and we can cheat a little bit, and we're going to destroy them. And so we are left with this little nub over here, and we're going to make the highway connection just curve right over here so that once we can buy 1 more tile, just 1 more, then we can reach this island and work from there. Let us grab our highway roads, and I want to do this together. I want to show you guys that I am, quite frankly, very poor with highways and interchanges and all that sort of thing. But even though it's not my forte, I can still do it, and you can as well. If you're not the best at interchanges, if they frustrate the heck out of you, don't sweat, you can totally do this. That is, I'm just trying to go across the river at a perpendicular angle, right? So I'm gonna draw it out this way. And then what are these? These are 4 units, right? That makes sense. Let's go 4 units at the 90 degree, please. Thank you. And then we'll draw the highway coming out this way as well. Is that right? Is that 90 degrees? It is. And now we've got a place to start. Obviously, it looks like garbage, that's fine. Don't worry about it. What I want to do now is do some work with the network multi-tool because it's not something I'm super great at, but if we just do this, doesn't it just make that curve for you? Yeah, and so we go enter. And then if we do it here and here again, so I mean, we might as well use it. Let's turn these facing all the right direction. Very good. And the other thing that we want to make happen in here is we want to do basically a trumpet, but have it be wee little itty bitty thing. Let me get these highways kind of on the ground first. Where is the ground at? Maybe that's gonna be best. We can raise these ones up as well. Our final node tinkering will of course happen at the end of it, like our landscaping levels, that sort of thing. But I like to at least have it look reasonable so we know when we're not, or when we are, making a big mistake, right? Once more, going to reiterate, I am not an interchange master, but here's what I do know. I know that we don't want this trumpet to start like super close to where these roads come off, right? These off ramps come off. We want to give them some time and a couple nodes to make their decisions to change lanes. So what I like to do when I'm drawing an interchange of my own, at least these trumpets, is take snapping off and just get these like 4 main off ramps on the ground done. So this one I think is going to be a little bit longer. We're going to have to fuss with this quite a bit. And then over here, I'm going to bring this land all level with this. We can always tidy out the front, tidy up, I guess, the front of it later. Go back to our 1-lane ramps and let's go around this curve. This one I'm going to do like so. The camera moved right at the end there, so we're just gonna go with it. Do this one like so. And what those 4 are these 4 little 1-lane ramps, right? And then I like to draw the 2-lane highway going, oops, over top of this section here. So I'm just gonna go up to 12. Now I'm trying to think which kind of direction are we going to be going to? I guess we could have one road connecting them. We'll have to figure out lanes and stuff. This whole interchange needs lane maths, so sit tight for that. Let's go, again, sorry, coming out this way. Let's go that angle. Bring it down a little bit more. I would like snapping back on just to get the straight road, right? And then what's going to happen here is I'm going to move this node to be like underneath that one. What I'm realizing is that we just don't have enough space from here to kind of make a nice loop to go onto this ramp. And I don't want to move this road any further this way. So we are going to grab this ramp, this overpass, whatever you want to call it instead. And once we do grab it, are going to bring it over here, maybe do a little bit of this with it and see what we can make of that instead. So let's grab this highway ramp again. We've got the elevated road. We're gonna try the network multi-tool and the create loop mode from here to here. Make it pretty small and press enter. From here, I think the most useful option is the parallel road option. I'm gonna take this node through to this node and I want them to be on the other side. So I'm gonna press L and you know what? Maybe I don't even need a space between them. So I'll just press enter. From here, going to go with the curve mode from here to here. Should be pretty easy. Good. And then we just need to connect this node up. If we move that node back, we're gonna have to do some real finicky business with move it mod. And then can we just draw the straight node in? What can we make happen with this? Yep, now that is not anything special, but it works. We are still going with the point that I am not an interchange master. I just want to demonstrate that it's doable to make these interchanges, even if they're not gorgeous. So I'm just going to hook these up to their closest nodes. Over here, I think I'm going to create a new node each way. And then let's just get these all going the right direction so that it's a little less difficult to look at. Oh, and of course, I didn't have node snapping on, so this one did not cooperate. That's fine. That was absolutely on me. Same thing happened over here. Very good. These two were not perfect either. And like so, and then I made this road like a one-way 2-lane road, which is strange, so I needed to do that. And we are going to bring this down. Now I'm actually thinking I'm gonna move this node like so, and that'll make that intersection look a little bit nicer too. And then I want to bring this highway, this overpass, I want to bring it down to the ground level. Let's do it about here. Then I will take the highway ramp and I just want to draw 2 roads beside it as relatively parallel as I can. Make some nice connections to these other highway ramps that we have that will need some tidying, and then bring them to this node here. from here, we should be able to use, I'm just going to use the vanilla one for now to demonstrate the point. But if we get all of these roads going the right way, we should be able to come in here with the lane connector and everybody has a place to go. That is the ugliest but functional trumpet interchange. From here, it is time for some lane maths. So we go into the highway. I'm going to grab the 2-lane highway and downgrade this to the 2 lanes. And over here, we have some lane maths to do as well. Now, this should be 2 lanes off because it splits. So that means to me that this should be 1 lane going all the way through. It takes in another lane here, so we'll grab the 2. And then it takes in that final lane there. Over here, we have 1 going off, so we're gonna do 2, and then we have another one going off, so this will shrink all the way back down to 1. This should be 2 going into it because it's got 2 going into it. And then same thing here, this should be 2 lanes here. So now these lane maths were coming over this way. This side took me a second to figure out, but what the problem is back here, we've got 2 lanes merging into the 1. So this actual overpass one needs to be a 2-lane. Then when you merge it with that 1, it adds up to the 3. Makes sense, which means that this should have been 2 lanes as it's split into the 2 individual lanes, which I think is going to muck up our commercial here. Oh no, what a devastation. And for this final section here, this road should actually be 2 lanes long. And I've actually seen a little bit of congestion happen here. Nothing too crazy, but it does happen. So these 2 need to be able to have 2 lanes to go each. And then they merge back into the 3, and then they've got immediately another interchange that I can't quite do the lane maths on yet because we don't have that tile. Now I will go in and do all of the lane connections for each one quick like a bunny. Can we talk about real quick how, like, what feels like minutes ago at the start of the episode, our demand needs were completely flipped. We had no demand almost for residential, and we had a whole bunch of industrial demand, and I kind of love how this game just flip-flops like that. It just lets me just let the game play and kind of do whatever I want, really. What I want to do now is get a road layout coming in here, and I find that I stick to this kind of road layout a lot. The grid is broken, but it's still very rigid, right? So I'm gonna try something a little bit new to me. I'm going to have to concentrate on it, so why don't we just speed it up and let you guys watch. This is my attempt at a more natural road layout. You obviously will see there are places where I just anarchied over the road because that's a very normal thing to do. And what we're going to do here is we are going to elevate these roads, and we are going to take these ones that go underneath and, well, put them underneath and then bring these up. We'll do some landscaping, get that all smoothed out, but for now I just want it functional. That's great. And then I wanted to do the same over here. Now all of these nodes do look a little high, so if we just do 2 terrain height, it'll be nicer. And then let's grab this and let's do, actually let's, oh, get out of move it, of course. Let's upgrade both of these ones, and then we will scooch these nodes in, and we can elevate them a little bit, and then we will grab, there's a node underneath there. There it is, and we'll scooch it down. Hopefully that works out. It does, and then we can always just bring this to the side, or we could just delete it. There will be a lot of tidying up that will need to be done at a later time. We might end up doing said tidying up during my next YouTube City Skylines live stream. That's right, you heard me. Just the other day, I tried out my first YouTube live stream. I've never done that before, and we did a tiny bit of detailing here in Derminport. The VOD is still available on the channel if you you want to watch it. I will put it in the info card right now. But I think I enjoyed my time, so I will likely be doing so again. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you are so that you don't miss when I go live with a detailing session here in Derminport. We can see the water piping that I put in, and then I kind of properly-ish connected it through the highway as well. We'll get it out there when we can. I want to connect this road up. Now, oh, we did not make that a one-way, no, because they need to be able to turn around, right? So how does this work? I guess it just needs a road in front of it. Let's grab, I really am tempted just to use that little tiny road, like the whole way through, and just make this almost like a secret or like a local only known road kind of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let's see what happens when we do that. Let's bring this road out as well. I have snapping off still, don't I? That's all right, we can make it work by turning it back on, of course. And let's just do that. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Now, these guys don't have a way to turn around there anymore, and it looks like that's what they were using that for the most often. Let's give them that function back. Maybe they need it. Let's do this. Do like the tiniest little roundabout ever. And coming back here, we need to get some services in. Services are in, as are parks, as are just a couple pathways. This I'm not happy with. I think we're gonna have to do retaining walls if we want that to look decent, but I want to get to the fun part of this. But before then, we gotta remove a bunch of trees. Who wants trees in an area like this anyways? We actually do, very much so, but I want to choose our own palette of trees. So just going to get rid of the ones that were put there with the map. But let's take a look at what unique buildings we can put in here. I'm just kind of going to go through them, and each time I see that one is a requirement for building something like the space elevator, I'm going to try to find a spot for it. So this Statue of Wealth fits in real nice right there, doesn't it? In it goes. The Lazarette Plaza is a requirement for building the medical center, and it, I think if we do some scooching around, is going to fit very well in here. We will color that in with the surface painter as well. Statue of Shopping, might as well get it in here too. We're gonna have a lot of statues, aren't we? I think, yes, look at that. Fits very nicely in there. Level 2, unique buildings. We need the Friendly Neighborhood Park, and that is actually a really nice building. I wonder if there's anywhere else that we could get it to work. I wonder if we could get it to work over here. What if we just try to scooch it in there? It does infringe on this person's yard technically, but I think we're actually okay. We can also take that path and connect it up. So let's grab this, and it's a pavement path, and I think we can fit one right in here. Very nice. Let's focus back on our new area, the transport tower. Yes, so you can see I've put in a couple tall buildings this side. I am going to want a few taller buildings in here, even if we don't end up sticking with a lot of high density. Can we fit this transport tower in right here? I think we can. We rotate it a little bit and get it in. I think a lot of these buildings I may end up taking good old Bob here and getting these trees out. Now my question is quickly becoming, how many unique buildings is too many to put into an area like this? Let's get the Posh Mall in here, and that's all of our level 2 buildings that we need to put down. The Colossal Order offices is a really big building. I would love to have it work over here. Can we make it happen? Yes, we can. That looks just fine. The official park is a really nice one as well. We've got lots of little like statue parks around here, and I think that really suits the kind of vibe, I guess, that I'm going for. Are these two going to look really strange next to each other? They are. So I'm actually not going to go ahead with that. What about over here where our land kind of gets a bit dippy? This would work because it'll cover up the land dippiness, right? Those benches can still be sat on. I think that will work. The courthouse and the tax office I'm going to leave for our like downtown area that I want to build this grand mall. We've already got one mall over here. Is it okay to have a second one? I think it must be. It is now because it fits almost so well. Let's see, can we, if we move it like there so the parking spaces make sense. It is just kicking over the road. Oh, what we can do here is, of course, we can move the road, holding Alt with move it to have these snap nicely on nice angles, nice curves. Let's move it back again. Those parking spaces should be fine, and we have plenty of room there. I'm looking through these and there are so many to put down. If we want to be able to build all of the monuments, is that our goal, gang? To build all of the monuments? It's a pretty wild goal. I would love to make it happen. If we do this and put this grand library here, we will have to take a Bob and we will have to take all of the trees out for one, but also these street lamps here. Yes, let's get rid of them too. And then that works out. That bench is kind of in the middle of the sidewalk. Do we just take out the bench or do we just move everything down this way? Perfect. Looking through here, the only other, I think, vanilla unique buildings that I want to get down are the servicing services office, because it just kind of suits like having these few giant buildings around here. Where can we get this guy though? Okay, I think I found what needs to happen. I think we need to delete that road and then put this one in there. Can we then maybe scooch this road a little bit? Very good. Maybe try to center this a little bit more, scooch the road a little bit more, and that is lovely. And the last unique building I want to put in this area, the last vanilla unique building I want to put in this area is some sort of stadium. Let's get this stadium somewhere in here. I'm trying to keep it a somewhat balanced between the two areas, but that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do. I think we could put it right there. Looks good. And look at it, for the first time, well, I was gonna say that we're losing money, but we are earning money, which is lovely. That will probably fluctuate until we get some more buildings in here that actually earn some cash. Speaking of which, we have not put down what we require. So what is this? An airline headquarters. Let's go into our travel, the airport guy, and the airline headquarters. Where, oh, where are you? These are hotels still, right? Yes. Airline headquarters building. What does this look like? Oh, wow, it's another big building. That's lovely. I would kind of like to have it somewhat close to the airport, or at least, you know, within the general vicinity. If we could make it fit right here, I would be a very happy camper. What does that look like? It doesn't look great. Let's grab this node and bring it out here, and we're gonna start moving this road out. And then I'm still holding down Alt to get these nicer curves. Okay, I think that looks fine. Now I want this node to be the same height as that node to help this out. But then I want these three nodes to slope, and I'm gonna go Control N for node controller, and I want that node to be a bend because then it kind of curves right there. And finally, we can take the landscaping and we can tidy this up a little bit. Grab that height, smoosh it all around, and then grab the smooth tool, soften terrain tool, that's the one. And that looks much better. Look at the cool airline headquarters building. Now I want to figure out how to get a path to go from this building directly to the airport. I'm sure we can make that happen. Let's go back into the airport tab though and see kind of what else we can do. An aviation museum would be rad. And I don't think it has to go inside of this area either, does it? It's another bigger building. I wonder about putting it over on the side here or even coming out this way. Let's see what happens when we plunk it down there. I think that makes a lot of sense. We're gonna be doing some path work to get this all to connect up. But looking through here, it doesn't look like there's any more of those like decorative type buildings that I want to put in this area. But now if we come back to our level 3 BMF airport, we should be able to go to airline, and yes, we can do some stuff here, can't we? Let's change. I'm not a super fan of the chirpy logo. I think I know which one I'm going to end up picking. I'm genuinely a little bit torn between this logo and this one. The only reason I think this one misses out is because it's got the pink in it, and I'm not the biggest fan of pink. I think we're going to go with this one. The blue and the orange kind of hit me. I really like those. And then the main color is going to be as close to my blue as I can make it, but I'll soften it up a little bit, and I think that looks just snazzy. Now gang, we are so minutes into the video, and I need you to put 2 things into the comments. If you've made it this far, please let me know. For one, that of course you have made it this far, and then you can be part of the I've made it this far gang. But 2, let's get some suggestions in the comments for our airline name. I'm open to anything, but you guys know my name's Toadie. The city's Derminport, the airport is BMF. If it could revolve around one of those 3 things, that's pretty cool. But I would love to just hear what you guys come up with. The next thing that we probably need to work on here is our population. At the beginning of this episode, we had 9,000 people in this city. Let's just take a quick look around and make sure that we don't have like a proper death wave going on with the death care symbols, that kind of thing. But it looks like our death care is managing just fine. We just, you know, are at that stage of the game where people are dying. So we are going to look in here and see. Let's go to actually the noise tab and see kind of where maybe we could get some people living in here. I'm thinking we might be able to get some people living right in here and maybe kind of along this back area. If we go into find it, and then I'm going to do growable / RICO and high density. Let's just plunk in a few high density buildings and help start getting some people in here. So a lot of these buildings from the workshop are pretty big. It's going to be potentially a challenge to fit them in here. I think we are up to the challenge. Let's get this studio apartment in here. I kind of want to do this one back to back, but I think that'll look a little bit funny. Do we have something else nice and small in there? I guess I could make it 3 back. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's a, you know, actually, okay, I did not mean to plunk that in, but it works. Let's get some of the 4 size buildings in here. This is pretty long. This guy's pretty tall, but I think I want that, right? That'll work nicely. Right, and then we will start getting the land elevation changes happening over here, but we can work around it or work with it. Let's get that in there. I think that will work out for that little section there. Already our population is going up, and we will eventually start to see some moving in traffic, hopefully. Let's move over this way and see what kind of shenanigans we can get to over here. I'm going to put these back on all and going to just start putting in whatever comes to me. These may need some adjustment with move it. Yes, we can see already that they do. We will be painting this area inside with surface painter as well. Let's get this guy. I think he's going to need to be turned around. What does it look like over here? Very nice. I actually really like that building there. And these ones are they? Yeah, so this one has the ground part of it painted, which is very frustrating. I wish that that wasn't there, because otherwise I would be able to use this. And that's not something that we can bob out of there, but we can come around here and align these better. That's a police station, I think, a park, and then these buildings here are the same building, but I don't mind them side by side as long as it's not too many, right? And then we've got these buildings over here as well that match. And finally, back here, I'm going to get into the vanilla high-density residential buildings. These aren't the absolute worst. Some of them, of course, once you get into like some of the content creator packs or even just really some of the main buildings, some of them are a little bit strange. But if you kind of pick and choose through Find It and RICO, I don't mind using these every now and then. This is the selection that I've come up with. I'm not sure if we will put any around here on the back on on this main collector road, but we are finally getting some more people moving in here. These needs are probably going to shuffle in the kind of correct direction. I'm going to take a second and get some parking in here. Speaking of parking, it is time we switched gears in this episode and made the episode in the gear of park, because we have been going on for quite a while. There's still plenty left to do in this area, so let's get to that next time. If you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you've enjoyed the video, of course, please do give it a thumbs up. It helps us creators out a lot. Gang, thank you for watching. I will catch you next time.